I'm in a car underwater with time to kill. Looking back, I forgot to tell you this. Name that song. Name it. What's up, sons? It's Blind Ride with Son of a Tech once again, sitting down once again just to give my foot a rest. Hope everybody's having a good morning. Welcome to the Crypto Mining Morning Show. Yesterday's show was super awesome, but it was afternoon. That being said, today we have some pretty good topics, not near as much as what was going on yesterday. I still have a lot of deep dives to do on yesterday's topics because there was a lot going on, especially between both Flux and Ergo. There's a lot of moving pieces. Today we're going to be talking about the release for the new Team Blackminer, who seems to come out with new releases every day. We're going to be talking about the possibility of a Bitcoin volcano-powered city, or a volcano-powered Bitcoin city. That sounds ridiculous and awesome, so I wanted to take a look at it. We also have some information from Renewable Energy and basically what they're doing in light of the crypto market being down, and I think there's some lessons we can learn from them. And then, of course, we have the RTX 3080 12 gigabyte confirmed. So we have official specifications for that, and we're going to be going over it. The rest of the content for today will be covering mining profitability, and then, of course, hopefully some times for questions and answers. I will be trying to make jiu-jitsu today at noon, so we will be cutting off at least within an hour, so a shorter show than yesterday. If you guys like the longer shows and all that sort of stuff, also if you want to start sending me topics, you can always tweet at me at Son of a Tech, which is super helpful. We're going to go ahead and run the ad for today. The long-term partner and one of my favorites, Crypto.com. So let's get into it. Today's sponsor is Crypto.com. Crypto.com is my go-to centralized exchange for liquidating my crypto assets. With their Crypto.com Visa debit card, I can load up my mined Ethereum to pay for power and other operating costs quickly while earning up to 8% cash back. In addition to the Visa debit card, there are additional fiat options, including wire transfers, to easily receive your profits. Crypto.com also offers additional services, including trading and even staking, to earn additional revenue on your investments. Join 10 million plus users buying and selling 100 plus cryptocurrencies at true cost by using my affiliate link in the description for a $25 funding bonus. Or enter referral code SOAT at sign up for the same bonus. Remember, cryptocurrency investment comes with significant risks, so do your own research. Boom! And we're back. Welcome back, everybody. So first things first, let's go ahead and hop into Team Blackminer version 1.38. This launched 17 hours ago, and yesterday they had another one that we talked about, 1.37. It was actually 3 days ago, to be fair, but you know, it was released over the weekend when we don't do our morning mining show. Version 1.38 does say that it has improved the light hash rate detection. It has also improved the default intensities. So whatever intensities it automatically sets, essentially, I think is what that means. Fixed error on blockchains for AMD and fixed an error on reconnect for AMD. There you go. Not much going on with Team Blackminer. I still have had very little luck with Team Blackminer personally, so I don't know. Let me know what you guys think about it. It feels like it just reports higher than it actually hashes. And the light hash rate implementation is quite rudimentary compared to its competitors. You really shouldn't drink protein shakes before you do a live show. Just saying. I'm going to put a note on that because my throat is getting into the There we go. All right, so next let's go ahead and I'm debating. Let's go ahead and talk about the RTX 3080 12 gigabyte. We've talked about it before. We are excited about it because the memory performance is better. and welcome everybody hopping in. So let's go ahead and talk about it. This is from WCCF Tech, your favorite spot for rumors in the tech world. NVIDIA GeForce RTX 3080 12 gigabyte graphics card official, more memory, more cores, higher price. The NVIDIA RTX 3080 12 gigabyte graphics card has been made official, and is the latest within the Ampere lineup for gamers. For the GeForce RTX 3080 12 gigabyte, NVIDIA has enabled a total of 70 SM units, which results in a total of 8,960 CUDA cores, a 3% increase over the standard RTX 3080. In addition to the CUDA cores, NVIDIA's GeForce RTX 3080 also comes packed with the next generation ray tracing cores, that's interesting, tensor cores, and brand new SM for streaming multi-processor units. The card is suggested to have a TDP of 350 watts and will operate at a base clock of 1260 megahertz with a boost clock of 1710 megahertz. It's pretty incredible how much higher the clock speeds are on AMD right now. On paper. In terms of memory, the updated GeForce RTX 3080 comes packed with 12 gigabytes of memory, and that too is the next generation GDDR6X design. With Micron's latest greatest graphics memory dies, the RTX 3080 can deliver GDDR6X memory speeds of 19 gigabits per second. This is what we as miners are excited about. That, along with a bus interface of 384-bit, will deliver a cumulative bandwidth of 912 gigabytes a second. That's a 20% increase over the current RTX 3080, and this is confirmed now. So the reception of this card mostly depends on its pricing. While the MSRP of $699 US was never true for the RTX 3080, the same can be expected for the 12 gigabyte variant. It will slide between the 3080 10 gigabyte and the 3080 Ti graphics card, so expect around $899 to $999 US as MSRP, and realistic pricing should be expected over $1,500 US dollars. As for performance, the card may end up being really close to the RTX 30 Ti at a lower price point. And it should be super attractive to miners. Let's go ahead and take a look here. I know we have a 20% increase over the RTX 3080, but it actually puts it right in at the same speed as the 3080 Ti. What that tells me, just in general, right, is that we should see the same mining performance between the 3080 12 gigabyte and the 3080 Ti. Seeing that it's not a 3090 Ti that we're talking about here, my best assumption is that light hash rate will be enabled, but it shouldn't affect it on things like Flux. With a light hash rate unlock, 80 to 90 mega hash a second should be expected with the light hash rate unlocked miners. And then if we're talking about Flux, I would expect around 110 solutions a second, maybe a little higher on Flux due to more cores and a higher clock speed. That being said, it's not as high, or we don't have exact, let's see, it's not as high as that, is it right? No, it is. It's higher than the 3080 Ti, the 1710 megahertz, and we are getting some new stuff there. It's interesting that they're throwing the new ray tracing cores in here as well as the new memory, and I'm excited to see what happens with the 3090 Ti. This is, by and large, obviously an incremental update. I think there's some benefits on the gaming side with the new tensor cores. There are some benefits clearly from the mining side, provided, you know, you don't have locks that end up applying to other cards or other algorithms, I should say. It's an odd launch because if we're looking at the specifications, or purely looking at the specifications, right? The 3080 Ti versus the 3080 12 gigabyte. It's extra weird. The cores are cut down, right? But your clock speeds are higher, and then your memory speed is the same. Well, the speed is the same. Overall bandwidth is the same, right? Yeah. Overall bandwidth is the same as the 3080 Ti. I thought that this was going to be a little higher at 21 gigabits per second, but I guess not. So kind of a weird release. Very odd. I don't know. You guys let me know what you guys think about it. Obviously, I'll be trying to get one for testing. I still haven't got an RTX 2060 12 gigabyte for testing, though. So I don't know. That being said, yesterday there were Best Buy drops and Newegg drops for the 6600. So I have a couple more RX 6600s coming in for the farm. Yes, I am still building my mining farm up. And why is that? Why would I still be building my mining farm up? It's not like I really have another option, I guess, in my opinion. This is what I do. And so this is the whole idea behind the mining discipline, which is I just need to build the farm up enough to where it compensates for any potential bear markets. And this is something that the large farms are doing as well. So segue into an article from CoinDesk about Iris Energy's December hash rate rising 14% as revenue falls again. NASDAQ listed Iris Energy, IREN, which we've talked about before. Average hash rate was up 14% month on month in December 2021, while operating revenue fell 6.4%. The company in a Tuesday filing with the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission. The miner's computing power on the Bitcoin network reached 748 petahash a second, compared with the 657 petahash a second in November. The Australian firm attributed the increase to the installation of 1,666 rigs of the Bitmain Antminer S19J Pro that replaced older machines in its Canal Flats, British Columbia site. Iris Energy mined 124 Bitcoin in December compared to 113 in November. During the same period, operating revenue in US dollars fell 6.4% to $6.2 million as revenue per Bitcoin mined plunged 14.8%, and the cost of electricity per Bitcoin mined increased 4.6%. The company attributed the revenue drop to losses in the price of Bitcoin and increased difficulty in mining. Iris Energy saw a 10% drop in revenue in November. As of writing, shares of Iris Energy were up 0.81% in pre-market trading. Two new sites in British Columbia will bring in a combined 3.9 exahash when operational, Iris Energy said. One site in Mackenzie will deliver 1.5 exahash a second in 2022, with the first 0.3 exahash a second expected Q2 of 2022, and another in Prince George will deliver 1.4 exahash a second in Q3 of 2022, expanding to 2.4 exahash a second sometime in 2023, according to the statement. In addition to these two mines, Iris Energy is developing sites that will bring in 10.6 exahash a second when completed, it said. The miner is expecting 138,574 ant miners to ship by Q3 of 2023, the filing said. The company claims its crypto mining operations are 100% renewable since inception because they use 98% renewable energy. The rest is made up for by the purchase of renewable energy certificates, which is actually kind of interesting, clearly, because they've got some workarounds there that obviously us small miners may have a hard time getting into. Renewable energy is interesting because if you're in a spot where all you're doing is like renting or buying a building and then getting power like through a power company, typically if that power company is already like renewable, like let's say hydro or air or, you know, wind, air or solar primarily, like they're getting all the energy cuts and benefits, but your price is lower, which is good, but you don't have like as much of this I guess you don't get all of these benefits because the energy company you're buying from gets the benefits. So on a smaller level, it's a little bit more difficult to play these kind of games that these big companies play, which is kind of the frustrating part that we've moved into for crypto, especially within the crypto mining space, because if you're trying to build yourself up from scratch, build up from nothing, like I've been trying to do since 2017 or whatever, it feels kind of daunting at times, especially when you look at how much further ahead these large corporations are. So then your only real hope, right, is that you can maintain a GPU mining farm until that actually pays off enough to start investing into big ASICs. I know I'm super happy to see that like Bitsby Trippin has been able to shift into part ASICs, and I do think that part ASICs is the way to go. If you can get yourself there, I'm not there yet. I guess part ASICs, we have some ASICs, but you guys know it's not like that much. I think we have like 7 or 8 ASICs and nothing that really makes any money. The only one that really makes money is like the L3 pluses. All the rest are those little gold shell ones that don't make anything. Like we have a LB box for library that's, I think, literally losing 15 cents a day, even at my power cost. Or I think I calculated it may be really close to making like a penny a day or something. It's really bad. It's really, really bad. So I wouldn't look forward to that. We have Serpent X Tech in the chat. Make sure you guys go follow his YouTube channel. Let me get the link for you guys. I had a nightmare that I think, Serpent, I couldn't remember the name of your YouTube channel when you came in, and I couldn't shout you out. And that is literally no lie. That was like something that I had happen recently, which is funny. But make sure you guys go follow Serpent. Give him a sub. Do it. All right. So that's kind of the idea, though, even at the big stages, right, is that even with the markets being down, the idea as a miner is to increase the amount of hash power you have on the network and continue moving on. There could be, of course, like larger strategies at play here that people would go into. So for example, right, if we're talking about waiting for the market to crash before you buy GPUs and hoping that GPUs go down in price so that you can buy a whole bunch at a cheap price before the next bull run, that's a valid argument provided you could predict that. So here's kind of the part that doesn't work there, right? Is if that doesn't happen, then you're basically being inactive, right? And I think that being inactive can be just as dangerous as like spending too much on a GPU. So if you're just going to wait and you're thinking, okay, I'm just going to wait for another 2 months and maybe it'll crash, 3 months. The other thing about that in this particular climate that you should be aware of is that it's clear that with the 6 nanometer manufacturing process, there's still not a lot of supply, because before the cards have even launched, the 6500 XT is looking at €299, and that's for a 4 gigabyte GPU at retail. So that's not looking good. And then, of course, we are looking at, as far as I can tell, to the best of my ability, because I don't have insider knowledge, but from what I've heard, we don't have more supply coming until the factories are done in 2023. And that's just when the factory is complete. That's not necessarily even when manufacturing has ramped up. So it's kind of up in the air as far as like, can you bet on GPU market crashing? I don't know. I think it'll come down. If the market crashes super hard, I think what you would see, just from my perspective, would be a total crash of the GPU market post-merge. So provided the price of crypto is also down as well. And that would be because I don't think that there's enough coins to handle the hash power coming off of Ethereum. Potentially, we have projects that can handle that, but not really. Like if we look at total market cap and all of that and hash power compared to like Flux or anything, right? Ravencoin. We do have the Ravencoin halving today, so keep that in mind. Keep an eye on that. That should be interesting, I think. Should be cool. And let's go ahead and look at this cool project. Single inactive volcano has 90% chance of powering El Salvador's Bitcoin city, according to the president. All right. And everybody, like, I mean, my farm's already at like well over 10 kilowatts. And my farm's not even that big, right? All right. So a single inactive volcano has 90% chance of powering El Salvador's Bitcoin city, according to the president. According to Nayib Bukele, I don't actually, probably should have looked up pronunciation for this. I should know the El Salvador president's name and how to pronounce it, but that's okay. Should the power consumption of the country's planned Bitcoin exceed the volcano's capacity, geothermal energy can be sourced from other sites. El Salvador's president, Nayib Bukele, I'm going to go with it, has claimed officials will be able to use the geothermal energy from one of the country's inactive volcanoes to power its Bitcoin City project. In a Sunday notice, Bukele said that there was a 90% probability of using the Conchagua. Oh no, guys, I'm just going to fail all day today. Volcano to supply 42 megawatts. This is usually, so I didn't read the whole article beforehand because I was kind of running late. I'm not going to lie. And these are the types of things that I will type in and go try to get the how to pronounce, unless it's Kazakhstan, because that one's a joke. Never mind. Quote, enough to provide energy to the entire Bitcoin city, end quote, according to the president. The Salvadoran leader said the state-owned electrical company LAGO, was continuing to increase its production of geothermal power from different volcanoes in the country, with one of the sites believed capable of producing 95 megawatts. And here's the tweet. But we've dug new wells and we're planning to increase our geothermal production by a lot. Only this well I tweeted about some months ago will produce 95 megawatts of clean, cheap, and renewable energy from a source that is going to last at least a couple million years. Our engineers informed me that they dug a new well that will provide approximately 95 megawatts of 100% clean, zero emissions geothermal energy from all our volcanoes. Wow, I can't talk today. Starting to design a full Bitcoin mining hub around it. What you see coming out of this well is pure water vapor. Oh. The volcano, located near El Salvador's eastern border and overlooking the Gulf of Fonseca, has had no confirmed historical eruptions. According to Bukele, should the power consumption of the country's planned Bitcoin city exceed the volcano's capacity, it can be sourced from other sites. He said any energy surplus would also be used for mining Bitcoin to add to El Salvador's coffers. Bukele has previously announced several crypto buys totaling 1,391 Bitcoin, more than 57.7 million at the time of publication, following the brief price drop under $40,000. Bukele first proposed having Lagio, I don't know why I said Leo make some of its facilities available to BTC miners in June, shortly after announcing his intention to make the crypto asset legal tender. In November, El Salvador's president said the country planned to launch a Bitcoin city funded by $1 billion in Bitcoin bonds. Both crypto exchange Bitfinex and Blockstream have said they plan to support the initiative. The president aims for the Bitcoin city to become a fully functional city with jobs in tourism, construction, commerce, and engineering. Residents will reportedly pay no capital gains, income, property tax, or payroll tax. I'm moving. Fuck it. I'm moving. You know what? This country's gone to shit. I'm out. I'm going to El Salvador. Get out of here. I'm getting out of here. Done with this deep state bull crap. Trying to take all my money. El Salvador's got it going. In like 10 years. Oh man. How cool does it sound to have a volcano powered Bitcoin city though, for real? Dude, that sounds like the most futuristic badass thing ever. And like worst case, like I know that everybody dies from the volcano when it finally erupts or whatever. But until then, no taxes, no capital gains, no income, no property, no payroll tax. So I guess everything just rolls off of sales tax, which is like honestly probably the way it should be anyways. That's the way it should be anyways. And sustainable energy. What's the medical going to be like? Just one step away from a super villain layer. I mean, like, if you look at the president, though, he does look wild. Like, sorry, I'm bouncing. Like, if we're being honest, right? Like, what was it? He looks like he could be a super villain. Well, that's his NFT, I guess, huh? Yeah. But he makes his like, I don't know, his metaverseness. What is this? What is this? His metaverse avatar? But look at that. Look. That's some advertising right there, boys. Bitcoin City. Bitcoin City. Backwards ball cap, Ray-Bans, clean facial hair. That guy is ready to have ulterior motives. In the metaverse. Ulterior motives in the metaverse. All right, let's go ahead and talk about the crypto mining profits, and then we'll get into questions and answers for the day. Okay. So we're actually up a little bit in US dollar, as well as up a little bit in ETH. Now the ETH were only up 0.001 based off of somewhere between 5 and 5.5 gigahash a second current effective. We did take a rigs off for Flux. We'll talk about that in a second as well. So we are up a little bit in Ethereum. Here we go. Get this chart up for you guys off Flux pool. And then we are down as far as US, or no, we're up in US dollar as well from the $240 yesterday to 253.67. I did have my RTX 3090 rig go down, and it's been a little spotty. You can see here that it's only showing like 714 mega hash a second. I have the gigabyte card that's on there seems to be failing. We just fixed one here, so we're going to be taking this 3090 back to the farm, replacing the gigabyte one, and then taking the gigabyte one here to go ahead and get pads done. It's been dropping down to like 40 mega hash a second from 100, which is pretty bad. The rest are ranging in their proper spots, but it is a big rig. So I think just that rig alone is 2.68 kilowatts or whatever. So 2,680 watts at the wall. It's pretty incredible. Miner pool. We have not had anything in a few days. So at this point, we have how many solutions a second total on there? I don't know. Something like 546 solutions a second. 5-minute average is 670, but the 24 average is 537 souls. And we haven't found anything for like 3 days now. So if we don't hit a block today, you know, we'll talk about where we want to go with this later on, but it may be over for solo mining on small rigs, unfortunately. It may be over. And that could obviously be due to difficulty going up since making the video. So there you go. What to mine? Let's go ahead and look at the RTX 3090 and calculate it out. Let's adjust the Zell hash. ETH number one at $4.90 a day. So that's up from the $4.50 a day yesterday. And Flux up to $3.54 a day after power on the RTX 3090. Let's go to the RTX 2080 Ti, where Flux has been in first for a majority of days over the past few months. And it still sits at top, beating out Ethereum at $2.36 a day after power. And then on Ethereum, we're looking at $2.31 a day after power. Now, my experience is Zell hash is actually even better than this. The 2080 Ti's overclocked are doing like, I think it's there. It's like 90 solutions a second at 270 watts. So if we looked at the adjusted rate, it'd actually be even a little bit better for the 2080 Ti at $2.82 a day after power. They do really, really well. Some of the best cards right now, I think, out for that. The best budget card for Flux looks to be the 1070 at 93 cents a day after power. Almost $1 a day after power. So 1070s are something that are interesting because they're 40 solutions a second. 40 to 50, depending. Which is the same as like the 1080, the 1070 Ti. So 1070 makes a lot of sense there. I don't know, just something to keep in mind if you guys are looking for like a budget rig for Flux. There's those, and then a rig that I'm building right now, which are the 1063 gigs. So that says, yeah, 54 cents a day. Usually around 20, but let's go ahead and look at mining pool stats. The big ones, Ethereum. Any big drop-offs? Not really. Nothing on difficulty other than price. No real big drop-offs other than price. Let's go ahead and take a look at Flux. We saw that huge pump in difficulty yesterday. Let me get this moved over so you can see it all. It continues to grow. We're up from 2.5 megasouls yesterday to 2.75 mega solutions a second today. So the network is growing pretty rapidly, it looks like. We're still down over like January 9th or whatever, but we're up from yesterday for sure. The difficulty is definitely up as well. So Flux is looking like it's definitely taking on a lot of hash power in a short amount of time. Look at this. Oh, is the Ravencoin halving right now? Because this doesn't look good. Let's go to 2 miners. Yep. So the reward has halved. Yeah. So it's done. But something looks wrong here on the difficulty chart. You see this? Something's not pulling the API. What does 8.82 terahash a second? What was it at? It was at 8.97 terahash a second. So that's getting recorded properly. Network difficulty is 124.71K is what it says on 2 miners. I think that it broke the difficulty chart on miningpoolstats.com. Something during the halving broke it. So we'll have to see when they get that fixed up. So before is 136.74K difficulty. So the network difficulty has dropped. It looks like the network difficulty has dropped by about 10%. And then, of course, that does mean I'm curious. What'd we see? We did see an increase in price, so we came back up to the 9 cents, I guess. Is that right? No. Where was it at? Oh, yeah, the 13 cents, it kept going down to 9. I thought it dropped below 9, but I guess not. So no real pump. 24-hour increase. Compared to Bitcoin, it's up 0.64%. And then we got to give it a few days to see what miners start selling it at. Okay. Mining pool profits for the week. Last 90 days, Mining Pool Hub in first, Crazy Pool in second, and Ethermine in third. Last 60 days, Mining Pool Hub in first with Crazy Pool in second and Flex Pool in third. Last 30 days, Mining Pool Hub in first with Crazy Pool in second and Flex Pool in third. Last 21 days, Crazy Pool in first with Mining Pool Hub in second and Flex Pool in third. Last 14 days, Crazy Pool in first with Mining Pool Hub in second and ZET in third. Last 7 days, mining pool hub in first with ZET in second and Nanopool in third. Last 3 days, ZET in first with mining pool hub in second and 2 miners in third. And for the last day, the crazy pool is in first with ZET in second and Nanopool in third. Let's take a look at ASIC mining hardware for the day as well. Gold Shell KD6 still in first place, but it has dropped pretty significantly by about $87 in profitability since its initial launch announcement. KD5 still cranking out in second at $131 a day. Then you got that Silicon A11, which nobody really has. Then you got the Antminer L7, 9,500 mega hash a second on Litecoin and Dogecoin, making 83.56 a day. I heard that some of these are starting to hit farms. I'm not sure if that's true, but that's what I'm hearing. You got the Gold Shell KD2 coming in after that at 43.66 a day. The purchasable stuff, let's talk about that. From BT Miners, make sure you guys go find my affiliate link for it if you don't mind. But you do have the KD box here. Here's the L7, but they're expensive. One of the things about ASICs that I think that should be mentioned is that, first of all, stay away from Ethereum ASICs right now, because then you're just going to have bricks. But ones you can kind of bet on that seem to just, they're going to be around forever, seems to be Bitcoin. So if it was me, I'm leaning towards Bitcoin ASICs if I can get to the point of purchasing them. And that's just me and my thought process personally. If I'm going to shift and hedge into that. Now, I do think Dogecoin will be around for a while, and Litecoin for sure will be around for a while. I don't know about their profitability. And long term, I don't know for sure that they don't switch off their current script algorithm. Because if there's like this Elon Musk push for Dogecoin, I feel like he's going to push it off of the algorithm if he's got any influence over it. So that's kind of the way it goes. Yeah, we are recovering in price today a little bit, which is good. So don't worry about it. I manifested it last night. Jokes aside, it is looking better as far as all that is concerned. I still think pricing on equipment's a little high right now. I think it's a little high right now everywhere. That's how I feel. I don't know how you all feel, but that's how I feel. All right, let's get into questions and concerns. Super chats first, then tag at Son of a Tech for any questions. I want to say thanks for the 50 NOK from Stiggy38. Here are your 3 favorite questions. Why do you not like NiceHash? What to mine after ETH 2.0? And where can I buy a GPU? Have you guys seen what some people are doing on NiceHash? Have you guys seen what those bots are doing? Speaking of NiceHash. Oh, let me see if I can pull this up. So there's somebody that is basically somehow, I'm going to try to figure out how this works. So there's, what you can do is essentially rent a ton of hash power. So it's been happening on like smaller coins as well. We were talking about like those proof of work, odd behaviors or whatever. There seems to be somebody that's playing with a lot of them with solo blocks. But then what I caught wind of was doing it like on Ethereum, but doing it when the particular block is going to have a huge reward. Anyways, things that people are using NiceHash for. What to mine after ETH 2.0? Flux, baby. And where can you buy a GPU? On the internet or Micro Center. Bam. We did it. Easy. Dynamine Mining said, at Son of a Tech, I just built a 12 by 6600 ETH rig and 4 6600 Flux rig, and you got 15 ASICs. So I feel you. We expand or die. Nice. You have a lot of ASICs. May I ask what type of ASICs you went with? Dead by Shadow said that Raven just halved. I think we just discussed that, so we're good there. Oh. Ray Spears asked about Strong Block. I haven't looked into Strong yet. I've heard about it. Strongnode or whatever. I've briefly heard about it, but I have not had the chance to research it. I know that I need to. I know that I need to. All right, let's look into it a little bit, since that is the question today that I don't really have an answer to. So Strongnode, start your own node in a few steps and collect rewards. FAQ hot topic. How do I create a node? Nodes are available to create in two ways: node as a service or bring your own node. In order to create either type of node, you will need 10 strong tokens, ETH for monthly fee and or gas, and information to submit your node. What does a node cost? A contribution to the Strong Block protocol is required in order to submit and operate each node. Once submitted, these strong tokens are not returnable, but can be earned back over the relatively short period of time. I mean, yeah, so these are master nodes, but it's built onto Ethereum. So then my question is, and I understand the difference between nodes as a service and bring your own node. I would suggest bringing your own node probably here, because then you probably control all your keys. But what are they trying to do? This sounds like one of the deflationary, to me, sounds like one of those deflationary scam tokens. Yeah. This is one of the deflationary scam tokens. It's the same thing that was happening on like Uniswap with things like Liquid and LiquidX, etc. And you can tell that from basically from here, from this, the tokenomics. So burned and then increasing burn over time. And what they do is they get you to lock up a certain amount, and they burn it when you lock it up, and they burn it when you take it out, which reduces the supply, increasing the demand, which means that essentially the price of the token should go up. That is provided more people buy. So this is the same thing that the token, like a lot of the tokens were doing previously, where they would have you add liquidity, but they would take 5% of the token and burn it whenever you would add the liquidity. And then when you would pull out, they would take another 5% and burn it. So you basically needed the price of the token to go up to compensate for the burn, which meant that you basically turn it into a huge, which makes sense why I'm hearing about Strong now, is you basically turned it into a Ponzi community that is spamming everybody that's gotten in, is now spamming everybody to get in because they need you to get in and burn some of your money to increase the token price so that they can get out. That's how these things work. And I would stay far, far, far away from it personally. All right? That's how I feel. Minor Illusion says, that son of a tech, the strong block idea is explained by even them. It's just a Ponzi scheme. Yep, pretty much. Minor Illusion says, that son of a tech, the 10 strong go away and they pay you with strong from other people signing up. Yep. Masternode Ponzi scheme. We got it, boys. It's terrible. Meh Poliski asks, hey guys, what do you think about mining Toncoin? It's a very, very, very hedge your bet kind of mining right now. It's essentially spec mining. And to be honest, like if you look at like Toncoin, which is like ton.org, there's a few issues going on. See if I can pull this up. So here you go. So good things, it does have all the services. Kind of a bad thing, the wallet is kind of trash. The web wallet is extremely trash. So that needs to get worked on. You're going to have a harder time liquidating, but I believe they do have this bridge, so you can bridge over to Ethereum. That being said, if you bridge over to Ethereum, then you're also still going to have to pay the Ethereum bridge price. It would probably be better to do, they do have a Binance Smart Chain bridge. I'd recommend using that one personally, so you don't have as many fees. Just some points there. Still, you're basically, what I'm saying is you're going to have a little bit of a harder time liquidating, but the bridges are there, which are going to help. As far as their founders were from the Telegram messenger, but it was handed over to the Ton community. So as far as I know, the developers of Telegram are not supporting this at all anymore, and the community is just using that as clout chasing. And that's kind of where we're at this point. So I'm up in the air. Like I said, right now, as far as Toncoin's concerned, it's a very speculative project. There's other options out there that are just doing better, right? Like Flux. JBane DC2 says, at Son of a Tech, good morning, bro. Hope you're doing well. Any thoughts on Raven having profits are way down at the moment? You're waiting for the influx of miners on Ethereum Classic. Yeah, I mean, the price has to compensate. The thing that has to compensate for the price is that the miners have to basically, you know, put in spot trades that compensate them enough for power. I'm not a Ravencoin whale by any means. I'm definitely not a mining whale. So I won't have influence over that market. There will be people that do have influence over that market. I think that obviously this kind of dip in conjunction from the miner's perspective in conjunction with the halvings, obviously going to make this a little bit more difficult. I'd anticipate it to go back up to 13 cents here in the short term due to the halving. I think what we saw, so if we look at the pricing, right, I think what we see is essentially like this was the speculative move for its value post halving. So I would expect to see a recovery of Ravencoin from 9 cents to 12 to 13 cents. And then I think it'll stick within that range for quite some time. Because I think this was the market signal for what the value of Ravencoin was post halving. Hopefully that gives you a good idea there. I am mining it on my 1660 Supers and have my rig either on Raven or Flux. Mine ton and convert it to Flux. LN2 tips for finding a warehouse. Right now is hard because the real estate market's way up. In a lot of these places, their rent's going way up. So, like, depending on your capability, it might even be better to just buy property and drop, like, units on it. Unless you were already locked in like, I got locked in pre-inflation, I guess, on property for 3 years. So I don't know. When I was looking, it looks like it's gone up. Even where I'm at right now, stuff went insane. Like, dude, I'm hearing of people that like were renting places here around my area for like, for example, like $1,500, and now that their lease is renewing, the landlord's upping it to like $2,100. We're talking about like a $600, increase per month, just like that. And that's apartments. That's rental and purchasing. So like everybody's getting hit with it. So be careful. Kirby said financial advice run. Yeah, I mean, from my perspective, I'm just saying what I see is the 13 cents was the signal of what people think Ravencoin will be worth after the merge. I don't know when, but at some point I think that's what people think that it's worth. I think that was the signal. Liquidation says that's not a text. So if you say NiceHash is pretty bad, where do you start from a small farm with a few GPUs? Just Hive OS and whatever coin you want to mine, preferably whatever is most profitable, and then swap to whatever coin you want from there. Poliski says, what are your thoughts on Firo? I don't have many thoughts. It's been around a long time. I get that it has its privacy stuff. I just feel like there's other better privacy options. It's a weird one. I don't know that it has enough legs, right? what's its total supply? Fully diluted market cap is 93 million, but its market cap is only 55 million. It's down 32% in volume. I don't know. I just always lean towards like Monero. That being said, like Fearo's that one that's had a bumpy road for development. I think it was Zcoin or something like that. Right? Yeah. Zcoin. So like a rebranding usually isn't very confidence inspiring to me. Francis Lee says, how much do you pay for your farm space lease? We've talked about it before. It's $1,600 a month right now. Sky says that they got 200 a month with a total of 600 amps. That's pretty crazy. How many square foot? That doesn't even make sense to me. Freaky the Wolf said, at Salvatech, I am mining ETH at 1.1 gigahash on Ethermine over a year. Should I consider moving to a more profitable pool? I mean, it's hard to choose profitable pools. I think you want to mainly choose pools that you have low latency to, and then judge it from there using the site that we talk about. But Ethermine's pretty steadily high, so if you have like low stale shares, then just stick there. Scott Schultz says, yeah, Zcoin got hacked, so they changed proof of work algos. Yeah, and they rebranded their name. Mr. Solo says, Flux is the only one showing promise other than ETH. For GPU mining, I agree. Explain said, heard a few guys got farming and company buildings while everyone was stuck at home. Ah, that makes sense. Was that's the trick. Get 600 amps at 3-phase T20 in a storage space with 60 tons of AC to it. Jacob Matson says, as son of a tech, do you think that Flux is one of the better coins for blockchain interoperability? Yeah, I mean, they're the only ones that have really done anything at the level that they've done it. They also found a way to incentivize their consensus mechanism through interoperability, and they also seem to be the only ones that are providing working computational power for Web 3.0. That's going to call it for today, guys. I am off to jiu-jitsu. Thanks for hanging out. Be sure to hit the like, comment, subscribe down below. And I will see you next Tuesday.